humanity is that it offers us a way to reach out to fellow humans who don't have a decent place in which to live. In fact, it's the best way I know to live out the highest moral values of my faith, because Habitat sees decent housing as a human right. Human rights can be defined in many different ways. If you ask Americans on the street to name some human rights, they're very likely to say freedom of speech, freedom of religion, the right to assemble, the right to a trial by jury, or the right to elect one's leaders. These are perfectly good legal human rights. But one of the most important, a human right that people often forget, is the right to lead a good life. By this I mean the right to have food to eat, a place to sleep at night, access to doctors and education, and a decent job, as well as self-respect and dignity. We affluent Americans frequently fail to realize that these things are missing from the lives of many people, not only around the world, but also here in our own country. When the new millennium began in 2000, I was asked to make a few speeches in different places around the world about the greatest challenge facing humanity. It didn't take me long to identify what that challenge was: the growing separation between rich and poor. Did you know that in the year 1900, the people who lived in the world's 10 richest countries were, on average, about 9 times richer than the people who lived in the world's 10 poorest countries? That doesn't seem like a lot, but as time passed, the gap widened. By 1960, the world's richest people were 30 times wealthier than the world's poorest people. And today, the world's richest people are more than 75 times more wealthy. Even worse, there are many more poor people than most of us realize. Over half the world's 6 billion people live on less than $2 a day. Over 1 billion people live on less than $1 a day. Just imagine how you might live on just $1 a day, and you can get some idea of their plight. That $1 a day would have to pay for food, shelter, clothing, and even if it did, which isn't likely, you would have nothing left over for education, health care, or the future. Not surprisingly, most people who earn only a few dollars a day don't eat well and are forced to live in slums. Even in America, the wealthiest nation in the world, nearly 1 in 3 people lives in a house that neither you or I would consider a fit place to live. Habitat makes it possible for us to work side by side with partner families and help them improve their lives so that they can not just survive, but thrive in the world. Helping a family in need to move into a new home is the primary mission of Habitat for Humanity. Yet because of a unique way in which Habitat operates, the organization accomplishes much more. It brings together people of different backgrounds and stations of life to create an environment in which everyone is equal. I've learned that these new homeowners are just as hardworking and ambitious as I am. Their family values are just as good as mine, and they want the same things for themselves and their children as I want for me and mine. What Rosen and I have seen time and again is that when people become homeowners, their dignity and self-respect increase dramatically. Because they've worked so hard themselves to complete the home, they become filled with a new pride that inspires them to reach for other things that they had previously considered out of their grasp, such as a good education. We know this because we often revisit Habitat sites where we have built in the past in order to see what has happened to the homes and the neighborhoods. Never have we seen a Habitat home with graffiti on the walls, or a broken window pane that wasn't repaired, or a lawn even that wasn't mowed. People who build and pay for their own homes are proud of what they've accomplished, and they don't let their homes deteriorate. You can see this pride in the faces of the partner families on the day that they receive the keys to their new home. They know that they aren't being given a handout, but a hand up, because they have done their share of the work, and they will be paying their share of the cost. Participating in this ceremony, especially when you have helped in constructing the house, can be an overwhelming emotional experience. There's no question that helping to create a decent home for a partner family is a significant act of giving, but volunteers typically find that they receive something in return that is even more valuable, a feeling of